Here we are within Lesson 6 on Code.org's HTML unit. Lesson 6 deals with CSS, and if you went through the first several puzzles or bubbles, specifically number 3 will give you a great video that explains exactly how CSS works. Here on Bubble 6, it's your first time that you're working with CSS, and the directions have you go into the style sheet to see what rule set affects how paragraphs look. So if you look here, I'm going to use my inspector, and my paragraphs, when I highlight above them, are shown over here on the left side. They also use the paragraph tag, so that's how I can tell that those are the parts of my website that's going to be affected. So if I go to my style sheet, I'm looking through here for what's called the rule set that will affect paragraphs. And it's this rule set right here. It's got a paragraph symbol in front of it, or icon. And within these brackets are all of my different selectors, properties, and rules. Right now, the only rule in here is a selector or a property of font size, and then the rule is 11. So it wants me to change the text size of the paragraph. So I'm going to change this to an 18. And my heading right here currently is font size 36. So I'm going to change that to 48. And my H3s currently are blue, but they don't have a property or rule for font size. So I'm going to press enter. I'm going to say font dash size colon, and then I'm going to put in the rule. I want it to go ahead and be, let's just say 30. I'm going to finish that off with semicolon. And I'm going to make sure I add a semicolon to Dodge Blue. And those semicolons will finish or how you close out each of the different properties and rules. So here's the first property of color, Dodger Blue. The second property and rule of font size 30 pixels. You can see the effect over here. Now, once I finish that, I'm going to go ahead and move on. There's additional videos. I'm going to jump to number 8 here, where it talks about how you add a style sheet to a web page. If you scroll down here, it's easy to miss this. You're looking for this particular set of script that's added within your HTML page. This one happens to be index HTML, and that is what links this page, which is index, to your style sheet. And you would do that for all of your HTML pages. So I'm going to go ahead and put in this script, which is going to be link rel equals style sheet. And then I'm going to do href equals. And then whatever my style sheet is, it should pop up here. This one happens to be called style.css. I'm going to close that out with a greater than. And as soon as I do that, you can see the styles that have been indicated here on this style sheet are now being transferred over and shown on this website. That's all it's asking you to do on here. Now, when you jump ahead to number 10, the assessment, this is where it's going to have you go in and make sure you're not skipping over these like I'm doing. But on lesson 9, go ahead and do all those bubbles. But on bubble 10 here, it's going to ask you to link the style sheet, make the paragraphs a different size, and make the paragraphs a different color. So this is going back to everything that you've just learned on these previous bubbles within the lesson. First thing I'm going to do is link the style sheet. Remember, that's where I'm going to go ahead and put that link rel style sheet, and I'm going to attach that to my style CSS. I'm going to need to add a style CSS sheet. There's my new style sheet. I'm going to rename that to be style. Now this is directly linked to my style sheet. I'm going to go in here and start adding some of my different definitions or rules to be able to make these other changes. Hopefully that should give you a good idea of what you should do within lesson 6.